Super Bowl is taking place here. Lots of people are going to come here and spend. It was bad, I know. But we're not a sports program, obviously. But I do wanted to talk about this in terms of the way leaders have sold what we're doing for it. There is a controversy. Maybe Chuck, you can tell us the controversy in terms of what San Franciscans will be paying for. And what I saw was apparently Santa Clara, they negotiated a better deal. They're not paying anything for it. Is that right?
For example, Santa Clara Convention Center is being used for free. There's a whole series of things they're going to be doing. So the idea was, the plan was, and I was not consulted on this.
Oh, you weren't?
I was very surprised.
Let me make that note.
They didn't ask me about this, but the idea was that you're going to have to give Santa Clara a break because they don't have the resources to recoup the losses. San Francisco, meanwhile, has a $10 billion tourist industry. We know how to do this. We'll get plenty of hotel. They're predicting and projecting $5 million from hotel and sales tax, which they say would cover the cost of the infrastructure and so forth to the Super Bowl. To the surprise of no one, the costs have gone up. So now some enterprising politicians in San Francisco are saying, wait a minute, we need to renegotiate this.
Would any of those rhyme with Schmerin Schmeskin?
Yes, oddly enough. Schmerin Schmeskin is one of the people involved in this. Also Jane Kim. But the irony of this is that while we're pounding the table and saying, I am going to tell the NFL that we have to renegotiate this, they admit that the NFL could go, no, I don't think we're going to do that, because it's been in place for a long time. I'm prepared to bet 25 cents right now that we will make money on the Super Bowl.
We will or won't?
We will. We will make money on the Super Bowl. And again, the economic engine of San Francisco, we would love to say it's artists and tie-dye manufacturers, but it's tourism. $10 billion a year of tourism. And the idea that we have been awarded the annual week-long biggest party in the United States is going to be huge for tourism. I think it's going to be a great thing.
However, I think because it's here in the Bay Area, it stands the potential to be disrupted a lot by the Black Lives Matter movement. I mean, we're in the Bay Area, and I just don't think we're really paying attention to the fact that Oakland was powerful enough in its political reaction to events from Oscar Grant on forward to take attention from New York City in the Occupy movement. It ends where? Oakland, California. Where did Black Lives Matter come from? Oakland, California. I argue, and have been for about 7 years, that it was the actual murder of Oscar Grant that starts all of this modern phase of the movement, that Black Lives simply attached itself to what was already going on 5 years before it got the idea. And most people confuse Black Lives for the larger struggle that it attached itself to. The Oscar Grant movement, January 1st, 2009, in Oakland, largely supported by people from outside of Oakland, not Oaklanders, has been the clearinghouse for all of these different competing and converging issues. Latinos opposing Wells Fargo and its involvement in immigration tanks and holdings. All kinds of networks were in Oakland cooperating. And I've said this in several other places, that Oakland is the ground zero for all of this. And then we just saw the Bay Bridge shut down within the last 5 days. Did you see that?
Yeah.
They know what they're doing. They plan that very carefully, and you rest assured they will express themselves in Santa Clara. It's just too close. The weather's perfect. It's too good to be true.
In Santa Clara or here in San Francisco?
I think they will. Well, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know which site they would use, because I think politically it would be smarter to do it here to get the attention they want. But I just think you should be prepared for these kinds of demonstrations of some sort to get attention, because the whole world is watching, and they are 23 miles away from 12 to 23 miles away from all of this. You think Black Lives Matter is just going to sit in Oakland and let people have a party across the bridge? They are coming. And I don't even know anything about it. I don't have any inside information. There might be some police in the room. I just want you to know I don't know anything.
So the idea was that, we could absorb basically a $5 million expense in exchange for all the San Francisco porn, right? All like the bridge and there's views and all, you know, we're going to drive out all the homeless people, like make it nice and pretty in San Francisco, Epcot Center for everybody. And so we could absorb that, but in a way that they couldn't absorb a $3 million hit in Santa Clara. Right, and so that's why they were able to negotiate like reimbursement with the NFL, with the sponsors of the program, and the host committee in San Francisco is going to reimburse for fire and for Parks and Rec. Right, but not police and not transportation, not transit. So that was the sort of the idea that we're just bigger and like we can absorb it because, you know, like what's $5 million for like a fancy band city like us? So that was that was the thing. So so that was kind of the thing. But and to Chuck's point, remember there is no contract. There is no contract between the city and the host committee. There's no contract between the host committee and the NFL. All we have, the only document memorializing any of this is the proposal. Like the request, you know, our sort of, here's what we would do if you were to bring the Super Bowl here, submitted in 2013. Okay, there's otherwise like no paper. So the idea is that the supervisors are passing this resolution, like we demand a renegotiation 3 days before it starts, is A, super late, and also really unenforceable because it's all lots of handshakes and like blue blazers with brass buttons, I imagine, at the St. Francis Yacht Club. Lots of gentlemen's agreements basically behind all of this and really not a lot of paper. And so it's kind of a little freewheeling. And so it's going to be difficult to determine because a lot of people, how do you calculate all those Airbnb money that's coming in? There's going to be a little bit difficult to calculate, but in the wash, they're definitely, and they've already called, the Board of Supervisors has already called for an accounting of the event and sort of how much money it brings in, which I think would be really informative because we keep putting bids together for the Olympics and other kinds of events, and it would be helpful to have that kind of data for the future because we always hear that we're going to make money, but it's not always clear that that's actually what happens.
So this isn't just a one-time deal. First of all, the NFL was dying to have it in San Francisco. They loved it when we had it. They liked everything about the game except for the game. They loved being in San Francisco when we had it before. They thought it was terrific. Then they went to Stanford Stadium and found out they were sitting on benches and there were porta potties. And so now we've got this glittering stadium. So if it goes off well, and I think to Professor Taylor's point, there probably will be demonstrations and so forth. But this will be my 9th Super Bowl, and I'm going to tell you the security there is incredible. Yeah. So getting into Roger Goodell's press conference and disrupting it like you did with Barely, I don't think that's going to happen. Now, you may have a demonstration at the city down at the Embarcadero. That may happen. They may block the Bay Bridge again and so forth. But in terms of the wheels and levers of the Super Bowl,
I agree.
I don't think that's going to happen. Still, it's an opportunity to get attention. I don't think there's any question that will be valuable for their cause. Hopefully they will have, something that they'll want to get out of that, more than just anger. But Super Bowl is a big juggernaut, and it's going to be tough to derail that. We'll see how San Francisco likes it. I think that's the big question. Now that we've all, I compared it to Chicken Littles. We've all done the Chicken Littles. We've all done, oh my God, traffic's going to be terrible. Well, today it wasn't so bad. But traffic's going to be terrible. It's going to be a mess, and they're going to take over the city. And, well, let's see. Let's see what happens. And let's see if we make money. And let's see if we kind of like being a host. Because we do this all the time. This is pretty much San Francisco's, forte.